What's the dumbest thing you got in trouble for in school? My teacher once asked us to write down our favorite thing to do. I wrote sleeping with my mom. This resulted in a meeting with my parents. I was in 2nd grade. I obviously just meant cuddling and taking a nap. My mom thought that the teacher was insane. Someone accidentally broke a window. He made no attempt to hide and admitted fault immediately. The whole class got Saturday detention. When I was in grade 3, a friend of mine got bullied by people I knew from daycare. They cut her hair, her belt and just continuously called her names. By the end of recess she was in tears. Brought her to the office. At that point the principal pinned the whole damn thing on me because apparently they took my scissors to do this to her. The school got everyone's side and none of them even included my name. At one point the principal even asked me, "So what role did you play in this?" to which I responded, "Nothing. I had literally just walked her to the office to get her help." They wound up calling my mom anyway and telling her I was the ringleader of this whole event and made me sit in the office all afternoon until 4 p.m., at which point my daycare supervisor got me and gave me a hug. I spent the rest of the night in tears and nearly wound up grounded. Apparently my mom started out extremely pissed at me until her friends and my daycare supervisor told her to ask me my side first because that would be completely out of character for me. Always had trouble trusting the school system after that. Got yelled at during a physics class because I was the first to stand up to go start the lab we were doing. 7 to 8 other kids were midway through standing up, but because I was the first I had to get yelled at for 5 minutes in front of everyone. I called this kid a trapezoid in 2nd grade. He was very upset and got me in trouble. Crying. It was my first day of school at a new school. 5th grade. Some kids wouldn't let me play with them at recess. The girl who was supposed to show me around and be my friend for the day completely abandoned me. I was overwhelmed and I hadn't wanted to move schools at all. I go in for recess, still upset and by myself. And Miss over here takes me outside the class to lecture me for crying, saying she doesn't like crying and doesn't enjoy having to deal with it. I have no reason to cry, etc. Literally just making me even more upset. Does not even try to ask why I'm crying. Everybody in the classroom could hear what she was saying. I hope that witch is having a bad time. I walked into the showers in the locker room before gym class. Fully clothed with shoes on and everything. I had just never seen that area before. Showers weren't running. That's literally it. Got yelled at and got detention for it because apparently we weren't supposed to be in there. Reading a book. I would finish my work in class and pull out a book to read and be told to put it away and lay my head down if I'm done. They would have rather me just lay my head down and stare at a wall than continue to learn through reading. A runner-up. My homework slipped off my desk and got sucked into one of those stupid huge air conditioner units. The teacher didn't believe me, so I had to stick my hand up the vent of this thing and try to fish it out. I have no idea how dangerous this was, but it doesn't seem like a good idea now. I managed to get it and it was torn down the middle with a huge grease stain. He made me stay after class and redo it and I narrowly avoided detention, all because a piece of paper slipped off my desk. Given an after-school detention for whistling. I can't whistle. Happened in primary school. We were taking a break from our boys' dance group and I went into the toilets to take a Went into a cubicle and another boy from the same group was pissing. However, he felt like I invaded his privacy by walking in on his unlocked cubicle. He was also facing away from me obviously, so I saw nothing. He complained and cried to the teacher accusing me of perving and I was told off for harassment. I also didn't get the free ice block that we'd usually get after each practice. To this day I still hate that kid. I was sitting on a big trash can and the principal walked up and told me to get down. I did. Then he asked, "Do you sit on furniture at your house?" I looked at him kind of puzzled and said yes. He gave me detention for answering a question about sitting on furniture at my house. My friend has diabetes and when we were in school I sat next to him in class. He told me his blood sugar was really low and he felt faint. He didn't want to leave class, so I offered to give him my banana. So I gave it to him and the teacher scolded me for taking out food in class. She sent me to the principal's office even after I told her the reason for it. The principal teacher just didn't care, and told me just chill here until the bell rings. I'll never know why Mrs. Henderson was so angry. Literally looking at someone. Apparently it was aggressive. When I was in primary school, I had really bad social anxiety. So my teacher allocated a small table outside the classroom where I could go if I was having a panic attack. This was somewhat effective until I got a new teacher who would send me out to the table at the slightest provocation. Fiddling with my hair, jogging my leg or smiling when I thought of something funny all got me a trip to the table. She didn't do this to anyone else. They would stand in the corner of the classroom if they got in trouble. She would also write every trip to the table in my diary as a panic attack or poor behavior, which meant my anxiety medication dosage was changed. Eventually, the system stopped working altogether, as the table was more of a punishment and being sent to it would worsen any stress I was experiencing. I got in trouble for saying out loud that I didn't like someone. Her friend overheard, told our teacher, and for the next 3 days we all had to spend our recess talking about why I didn't like that person, because she makes a big deal out of silly things like this that cause everyone to miss out on recess. In 2nd grade, a boy who didn't like me told the teacher that I was taking rocks out my pockets and throwing them at him during recess. I get brought to the principal's office and told to apologize to him, where I started crying and showed them I didn't even have pockets. I was wearing leggings. I still had to apologize. I asked how bananas reproduce. My teacher didn't find it appropriate. It was in biology class. Wearing colored socks. I got sent to the principal's office where they called my parents and asked them to get me a pair of white socks. Needless to say, my parents were both working, so I was stuck roaming around the school sockless. High school, late 90s. We just got the internet. This was the early days of the internet where any random or innocent search could still bring up. Well, it happened to me. Our history class had the computer lab. Came up on my screen. Immediately sent to the office. They did not believe me that it was an accident. But I'd never been in trouble before. I was suspended the rest of the day. I just went home. Then it started happening to other students, teachers. Then they finally put filters on the computers. But I was never apologized to. This might be common, but my high school had a very odd attendance policy. If you were late to school 3 times, you would immediately get detention. I had detention once because of this. And I decided it wasn't for me. So anytime I knew I was going to be late, I'd just skip. If you missed enough, they'd put you on a medical watch sort of thing that would require a doctor's excuse. But you had to miss a lot of school for that to happen. So senior year I spent a lot of days hanging out at home or at my friends playing Mario Kart, because the school rewarded absenteeism over tardiness. I was kicked out of my geometry class and was given a referral that said do not return to class until a parent-teacher conference is scheduled. This all happened because I had the wrong size paper. This teacher wanted everyone to have 5 by 11 inch and I had 8 by 10, 5 inch. I kept getting 50% credit on every assignment because I had the wrong size paper. I finally told her I'm not buying all new paper because you want to be special. Skipping school. Punished by being suspended from school. Brilliant plan. Those extra hours of wow really showed me. My teacher sent me to the principal's office for saying I was trying to say sit. I had a speech impediment. My school had a no touching policy, so I got in trouble for hugging my best friend in the hallway. 2 stories. This was actually my friend. In 6th grade I was on crutches and needed to use the elevator to get between floors. The rule was that only one person can go in the elevator with the person on crutches. 2 of my friends and I were walking to the elevator when my teacher was walking the other way. He said, "Remember, only one of you 2 can go with him." My other friend looked at the teacher, then jumped into the elevator. As the doors opened on the bottom floor, the teacher was standing there and took him to his office and gave him a detention. Story 2. In 5th grade my friend took a pen from my desk. So I asked him, "Can I have my pen back?" and my teacher went ballistic. "Why are you talking in class?" "Oh, I was just asking for my pen back." "No you weren't. You were talking." My friend: "No, really I took his pen and he asked for it back." That night my parents got an email saying that they needed to come in for a parent-teacher conference specifically about this incident. I had no previous incidents, so when the teacher told them this they said how outrageous it was and I got off without punishment. She's still my one least favorite teacher all time. Whack. Wearing shoes without laces. They were closed-toe but apparently they must also lace. I got sent home for not having laces. Standing up to a bully. Came in from recess after he'd pushed, pinched, pulled, laughed at and threatened multiple people. I stood up from my chair, pointed at him and said, "If you ever touch me again I'll..." Then turned around to see the teacher watching. I got a spanking.